In the year 2563, 300 years after a catastrophic conflict known as the Fall, a physician by the name of Ido frequents the junkyard in search of salvageable parts for his repair work. During one of his visits, he stumbles upon the remnants of a female cyborg.
You're alive?
He verifies that her brain is still operational and decides to bring her back to his home, where he and his nursing assistant outfit her with a new body.
What are you dreaming, little angel?
After waking up the next day, the cyborg finds herself in a young girl's room, marveling at her newly acquired form. After a moment of self-admiration in the mirror, she dresses herself and descends the stairs to find Ido tending to other cyborg patients.
See you next time.
Ido, pleased to see her awake, offers her breakfast, but she can barely eat a fruit correctly.
Taste receptors are working.
It becomes apparent that she has no recollection of her past life, and Ido has been unable to find any existing records of her.
I don't even know my own name.
Stepping outside, Alita experiences Iron City and Zalem, the Sky City, for the first time. Post-war survivors labor for Zalem but can't go there.
What holds it up? Magic?
Ido names her Alita and invites her to live with him. On errands with Ido, Alita watches a motorball match, befriends a dog, and finds a wanted poster. A robot appears. Alita defends herself, but Hugo intervenes.
Why don't you watch where you're going?
Impressed, Hugo advises her to avoid Centurions. They bond quickly, but Ido takes Alita home. Late at night, a woman is attacked by a notorious killer. At the same time, Alita wakes up to find Ido, late and bloodied, carrying a large suitcase. The next day, Alita helps Ido with his patients, learning about a man robbed of his cyborg limbs for the black market and motorball games. She also hears about another murder, making her suspicious of Ido's injured wrist.
I heard that guy carves girls up and sells their body parts.
After work, Alita meets Chirin, a mysterious woman with a unique forehead mark. Chirin grabs Alita's hand.
Hey, what's your problem?
Later, Chirin reveals to Ido their past marriage and that Ido used their dead daughter's cyborg body to restore Alita.
Our daughter is dead, Chirin.
Chirin wants to work with Ido again to create a motorball champion for a ticket to Zalem, but Ido refuses.
I won't help you build monsters.
After their meeting, Ido sees Chirin leave with Vector, the factory controller. Meanwhile, Alita is playing motorball with Hugo and others. He teaches her to play and gives her roller skates. After some falls, she gets the hang of it and scores many points. After the game, Hugo introduces Alita to Chocolate.
That's so great.
They see Zipan, a sword-wielding hunter-warrior.
All guns are outlawed in Iron City.
Alita continues helping Ido in the morning and spending afternoons with Hugo. Hugo shows Alita a view of Zalem from a tall building and shares his dream of going there.
Gotta be willing to do what it takes.
He suggests that Alita, found in Zalem's scrapyard, might originate from the Sky City. At dusk, Alita pretends to sleep, then follows Ido. She sees him shadow Nisiana and pull out a unique weapon. Thinking he'll kill Nisiana, Alita intervenes, revealing their location. It turns out Ido is a bounty hunter, and this is a trap by Gruishka. Romo and Nisiana, Gruishka's cyborg underlings, overpower Ido.
Looking for me, Doctor?
Alita steps in, easily defeating Romo and Nisiana. Gruishka fights Alita. During a special kick, Alita recalls a past battle on the moon, where Gelda calls her 99. Back in the present, Alita uses the kick to cut off Gruishka's arm and tries to hit him with Ido's axe, causing Gruishka to escape underground.
Gruishka does not forget!
Subsequently, Ido visits the headquarters of the Hunter Warrior to submit Nisiana and collect the reward, which enables him to maintain his clinic and assist others.
Bounty for the cyborg Nisiana was 20,000 credits.
Alita shares her memory with Ido and insists on learning more, prompting Ido to bring her home and reveal that he had constructed that body for his daughter Alita, who was confined to a wheelchair.
Her name was Alita.
On one occasion, a drug-addicted patient stormed into the clinic in search of a stimulant to use before a motorball game, and when he couldn't find any, he murdered Alita. Unable to cope with her daughter's death, Chirin departed. Seeking vengeance, Ido hunted down the man to kill him, which led him to discover his talent for this work and become a hunter-warrior.
Have a look at your original cyber core.
Ido provided Alita with the body he had crafted, but her brain and core are the originals, and the core is fueled by an antimatter microreactor, implying she could single-handedly power the entire city. This technology hasn't been produced since the fall, indicating that Alita is over 300 years old. In the meantime, Gruishka returns to Chirin and informs her about Alita's abilities.
Look what she's done to me.
Chirin agrees to fix him, and Vector arrives for questioning, but Gruishka's demeanor abruptly shifts. It is revealed that Nova, the ruler of Zalem, can interact with individuals on Earth by hacking into any cyborg of his choosing. Nova discloses that Alita is proficient in the martial art of Panzerkunst, and he instructs Chirin to reconstruct Gruishka and dispatch him to assassinate Alita. Subsequently, Nova seizes control of Vector and proposes to transport Chirin to Zalem if she consents to work for him. Ido checks the bounty list and notices Gruishka's absence, suggesting he's protected. Alita wants to be a hunter-warrior, but Ido forbids it.
Then I'll find out for myself.
Alita!
Upset, Alita leaves and meets Hugo, who takes her to a motorball game. Hugo uses his connections to give Alita a backstage tour, explaining that the motorball champion gets a trip to Zalem. Alita sees Chirin and Vector, known for making motorball cyborgs.
That's Vector. He basically runs Motorball.
The current winner isn't theirs, and Chirin asks Vector for his parts. Soon, the winner is ambushed by jackers who trap him in fire, load him into a van, and cut off his arms.
You street punks! I want to make you pay for this.
Vector buys for Chirin. It's revealed that the jackers are Hugo and his friends, who do this for money.
Compliments to your crew.
Vector tells them to deliver the arms while he disposes of the rest of the winner. The following day, Hugo and his companions escort Alita to witness the stunning natural scenery beyond the city. Within a lake, there lies a ship that descended during the conflict. Although some scrappers salvaged various components, the majority of the ship was abandoned due to its technology being a product of the enemy, the United Republics of Mars. Hugo believes this could aid Alita in regaining her memories.
We have to go to the command deck.
She promptly submerges into the lake, where she can breathe without difficulty. By navigating underwater, she gains access to the ship, where she unlocks an unusual door, leading to an enigmatic force field. Familiar with this setting, Alita activates the control panel and deactivates the shield, unveiling a sophisticated armored body that she retrieves. At home, Alita requests Ido to transfer her to this body, due to a unique bond she feels with it, but Ido declines. He clarifies that this body is referred to as a berserker, a militarized cyborg proficient in Panzerkunst techniques. The ship responded to Alita's core as she was designed as a weapon, and Ido, not wanting her to revert to being a weapon, believes it's preferable for her to experience a normal life. Disregarding Ido's concerns, Alita proceeds to the headquarters to enlist as a hunter-warrior.
Doc's gonna be pissed.
Whose rules do I live by?
She then requests Hugo to accompany her to the bar frequented by hunter-warriors. At the bar, Zepan mocks Alita for her youthful appearance and introduces her to the formidable warriors, such as McTeague and his cyborg hounds. Alita dismisses his jokes and addresses everyone in the bar.
I came to ask for your help against our common enemy, Gruishka.
Proposing they collaborate to hunt Gruishka and overpower his protector. The crowd finds the suggestion amusing, and Zepan makes fun of her, but she talks back to annoy him and they fight, but Alita is too strong for him.
I am not impressed.
Alita challenges everyone in a bar to a fight, promising alliance if she wins. A brawl ensues, with Alita dominating and Hugo helping. Ido arrives, stops the fight.
No more free repairs!
Gruishka enters, kills a man, and demands Alita. A dog defends Alita, but is killed by Gruishka. Alita, enraged, paints warrior stripes with the dog's blood and fights Gruishka. Hugo stops Ido from helping. Gruishka lures Alita into a pit and injures her leg. He reveals that Nova created both of them, shocking Alita.
Whose hand?
My master, Nova.
What do you know about me?
Gruishka attacks again, and Alita loses most of her body. A memory of Gelda's combat advice motivates Alita to punch Gruishka's eye socket. As Alita collapses, Ido, Hugo, and McTeague arrive. McTeague releases his cyborg hounds, causing Gruishka to run. Ido repairs Alita with a berserker body that quickly adjusts to her. The next day, she discovers her newfound strength and plasma-generating fingers.
How you control it, I don't know. Didn't exactly come with a manual, did you?
she meets Hugo, explaining the nanotech's enhancement of her touch sensitivity. Hugo's touch leads to a shared kiss. Meanwhile, Nova, through Vector, reprimands a frustrated Gruishka about his task. After Nova leaves, Vector, doubting Gruishka's reliability, plans to discuss Alita with a tipsy Hugo. The following day, Alita discovers Hugo in his flat, nursing a hangover. They discuss Hugo's aspiration of making it to Salem, and Alita proposes to give him the bounty money she earns to purchase a ticket from Vector.
I'll just figure out who has the highest prices on their heads, and then I'll take them out.
No, I can't ask you to do that for me.
Hugo is reluctant to put her in harm's way again, but Alita assures him she would go to any lengths for him, even offering her heart. Indeed, she extracts it from her chest to demonstrate her sincerity, but Hugo declines and reveals that Vector wishes to see Alita compete in motorball. Alita agrees on the condition that Hugo becomes her trainer, enabling them to ascend to Salem together. All these events are observed by Zapan from a distance. On Alita's first big match, Ido outfits her with extra protection and custom skates. She chooses 99 as her number, honoring her past, while Vector offers a reward for her elimination.
To the one who kills, a girl called Alita.
Hugo, intending to quit his job salvaging cyborg parts, clashes with Tanji. Zapan interrupts, injuring Hugo and killing Tanji. Hugo escapes Zapan's pursuit using a Molotov cocktail. Vector reveals to Chirin his manipulation of Hugo with a promise of Salem passage. Ido warns Alita of the trap set by bounty hunters, but she decides to fight, overcoming her adversaries with ease.
Number 99!
Alita receives a distress call from Hugo, asking for help against Zipan. She exits the stadium, defeating trailing competitors, and finds Hugo near death at Zipan's hands. When Hugo is revealed as a murder suspect, he admits to jacking but denies killing.
Let me make it easier for you.
Unable to kill Hugo, Alita watches as Zapan stabs him. She rescues Hugo, who professes his innocence and love for her. Witnessing this, Chirin loses track of them and decides to help. Alita later appears with Hugo's head, having completed the bounty. Zapan's attempt to attack Alita leads to his criminal labeling, allowing Alita to destroy his face and seize his sword. After several hours, Ido has successfully provided Hugo with a new, albeit basic, body. Ido reveals to Alita that Vector's assurances were nothing but lies, and the only path to Salem is through becoming a champion. He knows this because both he and Chirin are originally from Zalem, but were exiled by Nova when he discovered their daughter was flawed. Ido chose to erase the mark on his forehead as a symbol of leaving his past life behind. In the meantime, Vector confronts Chirin for releasing Alita. Chirin justifies her actions by stating that Alita reminded her of her responsibilities as a doctor and a mother, leading her to decide to resign as she no longer harbors any interest in Salem. Left with no other option, Vector dispatches a guard to pursue her. Motivated by her desire to avenge Hugo, Alita heads to the headquarters of the Hunter Warrior, situated in the cyborg factory building. Wielding Zapan's sword, she annihilates all the Centurions and the bounty system before storming into Vector's office. There, she uncovers Vector's scheme of harvesting Chirin's body parts for later sale. However, she is so engrossed in this discovery that she fails to notice Gruishka's arrival, resulting in an injury to her hip and triggering another memory flashback. In the midst of the war, Alita, Gelda, and their squad attempted to ascend to Salem by scaling the cargo tubes. Suddenly, a jagged defense ring materialized on the tube, annihilating the army and leaving only Alita and Gelda before severing the tube into two. Alita narrowly clung to the edge, and with Gelda's assistance, she was pulled back up. Gelda reminded her that their mission was to obliterate Salem. Spurred by Gelda's words, Alita recalls her body's self-healing ability and swiftly eliminates Gruishka with a few strategic moves. Subsequently, Alita insists on communicating with Nova, and the Supreme Ruler assumes control of Vector's body to reply. He warns Alita that he has omnipresent vision and threatens to kill Ido and Hugo.
I found the only way to enjoy immortality is to watch others die.
This incites Alita's rage and leads her to silence Vector by killing him. Just then, Ido contacts Alita to let her know that Hugo had to flee because the Centurions are pursuing him. Alita embarks on a search for her boyfriend and discovers him scaling the tube in pursuit of his dream. Despite Alita's attempts to convince Hugo that Nova is manipulating him to reach her, Hugo remains unswayed, and Nova seizes the opportunity to unleash a jagged ring on him. Alita skillfully evades it, but Hugo is struck and loses a significant portion of his body. In a swift leap, Alita clutches Hugo's hand to prevent him from plummeting, but Hugo's arm is gradually disintegrating. The pair share a final moment of love before Hugo's arm gives way and he plunges to his demise. As the movie ends, months have passed by. Alita has risen to stardom in the world of motorball. In the midst of a game, she lifts her sword, pointing it towards Zalem, signifying her quest to be champion of the games and for revenge against Nova.